to this presentation. My name is Prudence. Yes, today we are going to look at reproduction and reproductive mechanisms and the evolution of viviparity. As we all know that there are two types of reproduction. We have sexual and asexual reproduction. With asexual reproduction involves a single parent, that is, there is no fertilization, and includes in mechanisms like cell division, where we have binary fission and multiple fission. We have budding, fragmentation, regeneration, pathogenesis, genogenesis, androgenesis, and hermaphroditism. With sexual reproduction, there is fusion of gametes. That is, the male and female gametes, and fertilization can either be internal or external. Yeah, we will in sexual reproduction we are going to look at mechanisms like oviparity, and viviparity. Yes, now in asexual reproduction mechanisms, in division, cell division, we have said that there is binary and multiple fission. So with binary fission, it involves the division, or the parent cell divides to produce two daughter cells that regain their original adult body or form. And in multiple fission, we have the cell dividing or nuclear dividing to form multinucleated organisms. For instance, here we have this parent nucleus dividing, consisting of very many other nucleus in the cyst, and then the cyst ruptures and the daughter cells are released to grow independently. Yes, that is multiple fission and binary fission in protozoans, mostly in foraminiferans. Then we have budding, most in sponges and hydrozoans. In budding, we have an outgrowth. A bud is an outgrowth that begins from the base, that grows from the base. Then with time, the bud breaks off and attaches to a new substratum. And now it grows on its own, and the process of budding continues. So with budding is formation of outgrowths. We have fragmentations. In fragmentations, the body fragments or generate missing parts. For instance, if we have a parent planaria here, then it is subdivided into 3 fragments. Each fragment develops the other missing parts to a complete daughter cell that later on grows to be a parent. Yeah, that is fragmentation. That is body fragments regenerate missing parts. We also have regeneration. With regeneration, the whole individual grows from pieces. Yes, for instance, in these flatworms, when this flatworm subdivides, or else we have the anterior half with no tail and the posterior half with no head. The posterior half with no head develops and grows a new head. So it develops to a fully flatworm later on. That is what we call regeneration. The anterior half with no tail grows a new tail to become a new flatworm. Now the flatworm is the flatworm that is produced is now the offspring that is now new. Then we have other forms like hermaphroditism, where we have an individual having both male and female gametes on the same individual. For example, that one is very common in polychaetes, where we have the polychaetes having both male and female gametes on the same organism. We also have parthenogenesis, where there is production of offsprings by unfertilized eggs. Yes, unfertilized eggs produce offsprings. In that, for example, in bees and aphids, in bees, the unfertilized egg develops into a male, and the fertilized egg develops into a female. In aphids, the unfertilized egg develops into either male or female, but the fertilized one develops into female. Yeah. Then now we can look at sexual reproductive mechanisms. Sexual reproductive mechanisms, we have said that is where there is fusion of gametes, meaning that individuals must come together and fuse in a way. Yeah, there is transferring of gametes from one individual, that is the male, to female. And mostly here we have said fertilization is either internal or external. We have mechanisms like oviparity, whereby with oviparity, eggs are mostly laid externally and mostly after ovulation. You find that in some in aquatic environments, for example, with the polychaetes, they lay a lot of eggs immediately after ovulation to their surrounding, and you find that in this, in polychaetes, mostly the reproduction of oviparity reproduction in their fertilization is mostly external. Now in birds, all birds have oviparity mechanism of reproduction. The sperms, the male produce sperms which are stored in the cloaca of the female body, whereby the sperms fertilize the egg. And you find that in birds they lay fertilized eggs, where now their fertilization becomes internal fertilization. We have oviparity, and with oviparity the eggs develop within the mother and hatch outside around deposition. For example, with salamanders are examples of amphibians. Yes, you find that their eggs hatch immediately they are deposited. Yes, meaning that they develop within the mother, but immediately they are hatched, immediately they are deposited, they hatch. Yes, that is with oviparity. We also have oviparity in some reptiles, and the eggs have large amounts of yolk. Yes, because they have, you see, the yolk contains nutrients that they have to be fed with that the organism have to feed on as it is developing inside within the mother before they are hatched. We have said that examples are salamanders and reptiles. With viviparity, the embryo develops fully inside the body of the mother. With this one, the eggs are not hatched, but the young ones are born. It is most common in mammals, some shark and reptiles. For instance, with mammals, as from this illustration is that we have a placenta, we have umbilical cord, and the embryo. This placenta connects the mother to the embryo to the mother, whereby the embryo obtains nutrients from the mother. Yeah, we have said that the embryo develops fully inside the body of the mother, meaning that after gestation period, the embryo is fully developed and will be born as a baby. Yes. To wrap up, we can say that in the sexual reproduction, we have said with the sexual reproduction there is no fusion, there is no fertilization. Then we find that mostly there is production of large number of organisms and growth takes place faster. For instance, with budding, we say that the outgrowths, there can be production of many outgrowths from a single parent sponge, and these outgrowths develop into very many organisms and the process continues, meaning that there is production of very many organisms at once. And now with this one, mostly the organisms are identical, meaning that there is morphological similarity, and also anatomical similarities. This one brings about environmental polymorphism. With asexual reproduction, there is also loss on genetic variability within the species, because of course we have said that they are similar, they are identical and similar. But with sexual reproduction, we have genetic variability. This is because the fact that we have said there is fusion of gametes, it means that there is gametes from the male and gametes from the female fusing to bring about an offspring. That offspring can be totally different from the parents. That is what we call variability in terms of genetics. And with sexual reproduction, we have said that now the gametes have to fuse, meaning that the male and the female have to come together, either internally or externally. Yeah. We can now look at evolution of viviparity. We have said that viviparity is growth of embryo inside the body of the female or the mother. And now life began. We can say that there was transition between from aquatic to terrestrial. And during that evolutionary change, there was some changes that took place. For instance, we have reduction in number of eggs and closer association between sexes. For instance, in internal fertilization, when we have internal fertilization, it means that now the male and the female have to come together. So there is that close association between the sexes for them to transfer the gametes from the male to female. Then we have retention of embryos within the female body. We have said that after fertilization takes place, the gestation period, and mostly with mammals, for example, in man is 9 months. So the embryo retains or within the female body. Yes, we also have development of placenta for nourishment. Placenta, we have a placenta whereby the embryo gets nutrients from the mother. Yeah, so development of placenta is a result of evolution. Then we have endocrine regulation of mammary glands for early nutrition. At the time the gestation period is over, the endocrine has already regulated the mammary glands for production of milk in order for the embryo, the baby, to get nourishment and nutrition. Yes, that is all on reproduction. We have seen the mechanisms of sexual and asexual reproduction, and also evolution of viviparity. Thank you so much and have a nice time.